Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, meathead. Just knock the guy with the cane. Just knock him down on the ground. Fuck him. Fuck him. We have a history, so just knock him on the ground is all right with me.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Hi, how are you? Nice to see you.
Here, Roberto, who I affectionately call a half-breed in the webinars. We know, but anyways, it's a catchy thing. Everybody remembers it. So they all ask me on YouTube, how's the half-breed doing? So you have a little mini following amongst my big following. Not as big as Kim's, but, good evening. You know the drill. You've been here. I was just tabulating some statistics from the last hardcore, and they're really skewed because of Marcus Bauer. He is already, he will probably have 24, 25 transactions this year before the end of the year, surpassing my 12 transactions in 12 months, which has stood about 30 years. And and we had some really spectacular results out of the last hardcore, but we had pretty spectacular results out of all the hardcore. And I don't know the reason. Because it wasn't part of my upsell model to have a fucking hardcore seminar. If you remember 4 years back on Easter Sunday, I said, somebody asked me, Mr. Peña, do you realize it's Sunday, Easter? No, that means we worked through Good Friday and all the other deals. And he says, yes. And then I said, a throwaway line, I wonder if I gave a seminar during Christmas, which this isn't Christmas. And that's how the hardcore was developed. But for a lot of people, the shoe drops or the other penny drops. Although some of you have already had a great deal of success before the hardcore. It more or less gets exacerbated. Now, during our week, we're going to have two of our current stars on webinars, Jason Nagy from Australia and Nelly from South Africa, who's apparently like a fucking bank robber with a mask and a gun, just taking money, hundreds of millions out of the various entities, and I'm proud of him. He's really the Black Hitler, not Al Capone, he's the Black Hitler. And he enjoys that moniker. It's because when you make a lot of fucking money, they don't give a fuck what they call him. But so far, San, a couple of you haven't made the fucking money yet, so you're sensitive to what they call you. We're going to break up into 4 6-man stroke lady groups, and we're going to go through about 35 or 40 cases, many of which you have produced yourselves. And some of the cases are from University of Pennsylvania, which I have a soft spot in my heart now since I spoke there, or Harvard, or some of the other big Ivy League schools, including INSEAD in France and Oxford Graduate School. But the bottom line is that, and because some of the groups are going to work on similar cases or the same cases to see how many different ways there is to peel an onion. The final or the penultimate, next to the last case, all of you will work on the same case. And unless something changes here, or unless you cheat, you're going to come up with 4 different answers. 4 different answers. And the most unusual to me are the big cases that have already gone down, like Nabisco, Time Warner. But there's already been set in concrete how these cases went. And then when you kids, mostly neophytes, go through it, how you come up with a different answer. Because in my judgment, most of the big deals are fee-driven. And when you see $1.7 billion in fees, the fucking thing's never going to fail. No way, no how, under any circumstances, almost $2 billion to pay it off to accountants and lawyers and advisors. Will it be, put in the toilet. I just got off a phone call where a healthcare deal, which I'm chairman of, and I only had one question, and it was really, there was 11 people, myself 12, and I made the comment, I said, hi guys, I'm here, I'm a couple minutes late, sorry, I apologize, blah, blah, blah. And then after I heard a lady voice on the call, I said, oh, by the way, I apologize for, bringing the gal into the fold of guys. And everybody laughed because most of the people are between 50 and 70. And they know how horseshit political correctness is. Everybody laughed. Even the gal laughed. I don't know how old she is. But I had some questions, which are, to me, no-brainers, which for the most part, the board and the professionals, in fact, I just wrote an email to the CEO. You did a good job, that you lined them up in a certain particular way. Now, we're going to go over some horror stories this week, one of which I just got. I didn't even finish reading it, where their deals were stolen from them. I'm not going to hit you. It's all right, Okay. And they were stolen from them after the deal, after the incorporation, which is hard to do. That means the you in the deal had to really fuck up. You had to really fuck up. You had to have side agreements and bullshit. And if you vote for me, then blah, 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 blah. Well, we've got a few, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say. The most illuminating, for those of you that remember, in the weekly report was a question, what have I not told Dan? Other than snuff sex, where I get a picture of a young, pretty girl with a thing on her neck and a guy climbing on the back of her. I need that. I deleted that motherfucker as soon as I saw it. Boom! Delete. Now, why would you send me that shit? Because you're all a little bit of a pervert. That's why. That's the real reason. But remember that section? What am I not telling Dan? Well, now, Roberto, since you were here, I could write 5 books just on what the kids have written me. It's a little more lax, not much more lax, vis-a-vis the grouping, because I will walk around and go around 2 or 3 times a day to all the groups to see how you're following up on the case, whether you're on the field or you're off the field, and then we will meet back in the pavilion at least twice, sometimes 3 times a day, to go over the cases. And it's for you, 6 in each group, to bounce ideas off of one another. We have set the groups up to one ostensibly intelligent, experienced person. Now, this is all in theory. And one neophyte monkey. Okay? And everything in between. Everything in between. Neophyte monkey to experienced person. And
do they have to wear a badge so we know which one?
Your teaching is coming out now, saying, no, that's not a bad idea, but no, we don't. But it will become intuitively obvious within the first 30 minutes who's the monkey and who's not the monkey. And in some of the groups we have people that have done deals, etc. Waiting on something?
No, just final guests arrived.
Oh, Alex. Okay. We have the guy that's here who is I'll tell you, he's a PhD finance, so he's one of the head of the groups. But he and I have something in common. When he was playing at the Air Force Academy football team, the poster picture that they have is him slipping off a tackle. Slipping off. In other words, not making it of an All-American guy from Notre Dame. So forevermore, for eternity, that motherfucking picture's there. Okay? Well, I have a similar thing. When I was playing football, to the extent that you call it football when I played it, the All-American guy was coming around there. And to make a long story short, all I remember seeing his belt buckle and him almost carrying me to the goal line. Not quite, though. So Alex said, well, shit, that's a better picture than my picture. My picture is the guy who slips off and he makes a fucking touchdown. But that's Alex. So now you know more about him than he needs you to know. Any questions I'm surprised you're still married, but that's nice. But it's early days. It's fucking early days. Your wife already knows what I told her to do with you a long time ago. But anyway, she must be a glutton for punishment. But a lot of familiar faces, obviously. I'm not interested in your questions. So, is it food time or? Okay, mingle, chill, have a few drinks, and we'll go in a few minutes. Thank you.